The first-generation Hyundai Palisade was a hit, one of those rare SUVs that nailed comfort, style, and value all in one package. It made luxury brands nervous and proved Hyundai could play in the big leagues. Closely related to the Kia Telluride, it shared the same platform but offered a more upscale and polished personality. Fast forward to 2026, and we've got a brand new Palisade, completely redesigned from the ground up. It's bolder, boxier, smarter, and loaded with tech. But now that customers are finally taking delivery, the feedback is starting to roll in, and not all of it is great. We actually like this SUV a lot, but here are 5 reasons you might want to avoid the 2026 Palisade. We'll start with the elephant in the room, the design. The first-generation Palisade looked upscale without trying too hard. Elegant lines, soft curves, and just enough chrome to make it feel special without being flashy. It had presence, but it was approachable, the kind of SUV that looked equally at home in a school pickup line or a valet lot. The new 2026 model, though, has gone full concept car bold. The front end is dominated by a massive rectangular grille flanked by a stack of pixel-style LEDs that stretch vertically into the bumper. Some call it modern and distinctive, others say it looks like an Excel spreadsheet with wheels. It's meant to look futuristic and commanding, but many owners think it's trying a little too hard to command attention. From some angles, it almost looks like it's scowling at traffic. Move around to the rear and you'll notice something familiar. The proportions, massively wide D-pillar and taillight design look a lot like a Range Rover. The boxy stance, the vertical lamp strips, and even the squared shoulders give off luxury overlander vibes. That's not necessarily bad, it's a trend right now, but it also makes the Palisade feel less original. And then there's the hood. It's big, flat, and tall enough that you start to feel like you're piloting a full-size truck. It looks strong, yes, but it also eats into forward visibility and adds a bit of bulk to what used to be a graceful family SUV. So while the 2026 Palisade definitely turns heads, it's not turning all of them for the right reasons. Next up, price. The Palisade has always been Hyundai's family flagship, but the 2026 model has officially moved up a weight class. The starting price has crept up from around $37,735 in 2025 to just over $41,000 for 2026, and that's before options or dealer fees. Step up to a Calligraphy Night Edition and you're easily starting at a sticker north of $60K, territory that's now brushing up against another SUV in the same family, the Genesis GV80. When Hyundai's own luxury brand starts looking like the better deal, that says a lot about how far the Palisade's pricing has climbed. That's a big shift for what used to be one of the best luxury-for-the-money SUVs on the market. And it's not just MSRP inflation. Hyundai has quietly trimmed back some of the value perks that made the old model so appealing. The complimentary maintenance program, which covered oil changes and tire rotations for the first 3 years, has been dropped in many markets. Combine that with higher destination charges and fewer dealer incentives, and the Palisade no longer plays the Smart Buy card as convincingly as it used to. There's another wrinkle too. The Palisade is built in South Korea, which means it's subject to import tariffs. That adds cost before it even reaches US dealerships and limits how aggressive Hyundai can be on pricing. If Hyundai wants to stay competitive in this segment, it might be time to look at producing the Palisade in North America, the way Toyota builds the Highlander in Indiana, or Honda assembles the Pilot in Alabama. Domestic production would not only ease tariff pressure but also help Hyundai position the Palisade as a stronger value play against its biggest rivals. Don't get us wrong, you're still getting serious tech, comfort, and craftsmanship for the money, but Hyundai's once undeniable value advantage is starting to fade. Quick pause here. If you're into buyer-smart car content like this, don't forget to subscribe and help support the channel. Okay, now let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where buyers are paying the most attention. The 2026 Palisade keeps its tried-and-true 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6, producing 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, paired with an 8-speed automatic. It's smooth, quiet, and confident enough to tow 5,000 pounds. But now that the new Palisade has packed on a few extra pounds, that V6 can feel a little winded. It still gets the job done, but acceleration isn't what you'd call urgent. Let's just say the gas pedal feels more like a polite suggestion than a command. Early owners have also reported some concerns familiar to longtime Hyundai drivers: small oil leaks, fluid seepage, and premature service alerts. It's not widespread, but history tells us Hyundai's large displacement engines sometimes develop quirks early in a new generation. The big mechanical news this year is the new hybrid powertrain, a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with an electric motor and a 6-speed automatic, delivering around 290 horsepower and up to 36 miles per gallon combined. On paper, that's impressive for a 3-row SUV. But as with most first-year hybrid systems, it's smart to be cautious. Early adopters often deal with software updates, drivetrain calibration gremlins, or battery integration issues that get ironed out later. Let's move on to ride comfort, because this is where Hyundai's push for style and performance starts to show its trade-offs. The 2026 Palisade looks incredible sitting on its massive 21-inch wheels. They give it a real presence, wide stance, squared shoulders, and a premium Range Rover-like vibe that photographs beautifully. But here's the trade-off. Big wheels come with thin tire sidewalls, and thin sidewalls don't forgive rough roads. Owners are already reporting that the ride feels firmer than before, especially over cracks and expansion joints. That soft, floaty character the first-gen Palisade was known for, it's been replaced with something noticeably stiffer and more truck-like. And while that might help handling on smooth highways, it's less pleasant when you hit a patch of city pavement that looks like Swiss cheese. The 21-inch setup also increases the risk of bending a rim or developing tire bubbles if you hit a pothole at speed, something you almost never worried about with the old 18 or 20-inch configurations. Replacing those low-profile tires isn't cheap either. Expect to spend well over $1,000 for a new set. To Hyundai's credit, the steering feels tight and responsive, and the SUV looks fantastic rolling down the road. But for everyday driving, the 20-inch wheels might be the smarter pick. A little less glam, but a lot more comfort and peace of mind. Finally, the interior. At first glance, the new Palisade's cabin is stunning. Minimalist, upscale, and almost concept car clean. You get this wide digital dashboard that spans the entire dash, an available 12-inch heads-up display, and even a new ambient lighting setup that feels straight out of a Genesis. But some longtime owners aren't thrilled with the layout. The tall center console and squared-off dash make the front feel a little more confining. And Hyundai has replaced many physical buttons with haptic-style touch surfaces. They look sleek in photos, but they can be distracting to use while driving. The new steering wheel is chunkier than before, and depending on your seating position, it can awkwardly block your view of the start-stop button, and even partially obscure the driver's gauges, which feels like a small ergonomic oversight in an otherwise well-thought-out cabin. There's also a bit of nostalgia for the old model's warmth, the quilted leather, the simple controls, the inviting shapes. The 2026 Palisade feels more high-tech, but maybe a little less homey. That said, fit and finish are excellent, materials feel genuinely premium, and the second-row captain's chairs remain some of the best in class. It's not that the interior is bad, it's just a little less friendly than before. So, should you avoid the 2026 Hyundai Palisade? Well, not necessarily. It's still one of the best full-size family SUVs you can buy. And Hyundai clearly put a ton of engineering into making it safer, smarter, and more luxurious. But with higher prices, a bolder design, and some early owner red flags, it might be worth waiting until the 2027 model year to see how these first-gen bugs play out. If you already own the first-generation Palisade, don't be too quick to trade it in. You might be holding on to one of Hyundai's most balanced and beloved SUVs yet. And for everyone else, the 2026 Palisade is proof that progress isn't always perfect, even when it comes wrapped in a very impressive package. Alright guys, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more real-world car reviews without the fluff. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. We got plenty more buyer smart videos coming your way.